In this session, you will learn rare Amazon PPC hacks, which will cut your TACoS in half. TACoS is a total advertising cost of sales. And our guest today will be Chris Rawlings from Sophie Society. They help Amazon brands with PPC management and conversion doubling tactics to grow their businesses on Amazon. And this session is part of the Seller Fest online virtual event. And this event is sponsored by 3 companies. The first one is Carbon6. It's a suite of tools that makes it simple to streamline and optimize any aspect of Amazon business journey. You can check below the link to Carbon6 and to see what tools they are offering for Amazon business owners. Second company is Getida. They are Amazon FBA auditing company, and they help to maximize FBA reimbursements for sellers of any size. You can find their offer below in the description and the link as well. And last but not least is a QUARTILE. They are an artificial intelligence powered advertising optimization platform that helps sellers and brand owners to maximize their potential in e-commerce. And you will find QUARTILE's link below in the description as well. This session is with Chris Rawlings, and usually I know that a lot of people like his content. So before you get in, we deep dive, make sure that you like the video and subscribe. And this session I'm hosting together with LISETT. She works with different Amazon brands as well. Hi, LISETT.
Hi, Augustus. Happy to be back here with you and also together with Chris. Hi, Chris. So before we go to today's presentation, could you first introduce yourself and let us know what you do in Amazon space? Because today a lot of people are watching who are also new to Orange Klik and haven't seen you before.
Yeah, what's up, guys? I'm glad to be back. You guys are my old homies in this industry. Man, Augustus and I have known each other for like 6 or 7 years now. It's crazy.
6.
So I'm a 7-figure seller myself, but also investor and partial owner in quite a number of brands. I spend most of my time helping other brands succeed, either through coaching, guidance, or through Sophie Society, my company, which does professional PPC management for mid to large brands, and also conversion services for listings. So my background is actually in science. I have a degree in physics. We're all data focused, data obsessed people. Everything that we do is only for the purpose of moving a number up or down, whether that's conversion, traffic, you name it. So today we're gonna get into some stuff that moves the needle, that we've seen moves the needle, which is pretty exciting. I guarantee that everyone watching will learn at least one thing, and a lot of you guys are going to learn a lot of stuff, hacks that you've never heard of before. So it's going to be pretty cool, pretty exciting. Okay, so let's rock into this. Like LISETT just said, there'll be time for questions. I'm happy to answer any of you guys' questions, so just pop them in the chat or write them down as we go, and we'll handle all of this. Pretty bold claim here. Cut your TACoS in half with these tactics. Strategies you can use today to get more of your PPC traffic to convert to clicks and sales. So this isn't bidding strategies. This isn't campaign structuring and campaign setup. This is maximizing the traffic that you do get with PPC. That's what we're going over today. So we're going to split it into 3 main categories. Click-through rate optimization, not conversion rate optimization. Okay, everything in this industry is all about conversion rate optimization, but you rarely go deep on click-through rate optimization. I'm going to show you guys rare hacks, some of which just came out in the last few weeks, to maximize your click-through rate. Okay, if they never click, they can never convert. So the PPC traffic all need to click before they get on your listing and convert, and that's the part every seller forgets about. Number 2, we're going to go through 5 or 6 strategies to rank all over page 1, not just ranking on page 1. Everyone's obsessed with their organic page 1 ranking, but you can actually show up on page 1 a whole host of different ways. We're going to go through a ton of those different ways with you guys, and what some of the biggest 8-figure sellers and even 9-figure sellers are doing in this domain. And then thirdly, we're going to go through a whole host of in-ecosystem sales for off results purchases. Again, something that sellers obsessively focus on is their their organic search rank, and that is important. But that's only one part of how shoppers on Amazon find you and then purchase your product. There are a lot of other ways, a lot of them in ecosystem, and I'm going to tell you guys what that means later, that you can use to get more clicks, to get more traffic, and to increase the usability of the traffic that you are getting through your current PPC. All right, so let's rock into this. Starting with number one, focusing on click-through rate optimization. So I've done tons of content with Augustus and LISETT on conversion rate optimization. It's literally what we do in Sophie Society. You guys will be able to find all of that content on YouTube. We have brand story, a couple of different videos on A+ content, infographics. There are all kinds of ways to increase your conversion rate, but the click-through rate optimization is something that gets ignored. So we're going to go over 5 hacks to increase your click-through rate optimization. This means when somebody searches a keyword and they see your listing in the search results, how many of the people that see it, see the thumbnail of your listing, click the thumbnail to go into your listing? Because that step has to happen before they can see your listing and then choose whether or not to convert to a buy, right? So this is part of the funnel that gets ignored a lot. And we're going to go through 5 hacks to increase your click-through rate optimization. If you do all 5, I can guarantee you that you are going to see an improvement in your click-through rate. And you can measure that through your PPC campaign reports. All right, number 1, you can see in the upper right here, it shows all 5 hacks and which one we're currently on. So this will keep you guys oriented. So number 1 is get the small business badge. The small business badge is something that just came out in the last couple of weeks. It came out, I believe, the end of April of this year. This requires brand registry or the handmade program, but most of you guys are probably brand registered, unless you're brand new. You have to be doing under $50 million in revenue. Once you're approved, all your products are automatically enrolled. But here's the key. Okay, the reason that this improves your click-through rate is not only because you get this badge on your listing and it increases, it catches the eye more. It's something else to catch the eye, but it actually increases the size of the listing in mobile search results. And for those of you guys that don't know, Amazon is now a mobile-first platform. More than 3/4 of the shopping that happens on Amazon.com is on mobile devices. So if you're going desktop first, you're literally serving just the 25% of your customer base. Okay, so that's nuts. You want to serve the 75% first. So everything we do should be mobile first. You're going to see a lot of mobile screenshots in this presentation today. So this badge actually increases the size. They didn't rearrange things on the listing thumbnail to put this small business badge. They actually just increased the size of the entire thumbnail, which is unbelievably powerful. You don't know how powerful that is. Someone that searches in search results, say they search this search that you see here in the search bar, organic coffee. They're scrolling up and down. They don't care where they land. It's all probabilities. Okay, imagine if you took up half of the entire page 1 with one listing and it was just one big long scrollable listing. Well, you'd be that much more probable for a shopper to land on you just because of statistics, just probability. Okay, it's like roulette. Like if you have more spots, the ball is more likely to land in your slot. So the bigger your listing, the better. You literally want it to be as big as possible. The small business badge adds approximately 10 to 12% on the height of your listing in mobile search results. Okay, this is a huge hack. How do you get it? Contact Amazon through seller support and provide the name of your brand and company, your business address, and your merchant token ID, and just tell them that you're looking to get the small business badge. Amazon will then review your eligibility. All you have to do is be doing under 50 million in revenue. Pretty much everyone gets approved that tries. Okay, so this is real easy hack for you guys. Any of you guys that already have this, good for you. You're ahead of the game. You're staying on top of things. For those of you guys that don't have this, get it now. And for those of you guys that don't have this and you're hearing this, you already just made up for the time, more than 10 times over made up for the time that you spent to watch this event today. So the rest of this is just gravy to you, because this is literally going to pretty much guarantee that your click-through rate increases, and you'll be able to measure that in your PPC reports. Okay, So that's the first one. The second one is another badge. This one isn't so new, but the availability of it is new. Okay, so back when this first came out, this was not available to many sellers at all. And you actually had to pay a portion of your revenues, and it was ridiculous. But Amazon just recently, around the same time that they released a small business badge and a number of other badges, they made the climate pledge friendly badge available to way more sellers. Okay. Now this is a little bit more nuanced in terms of the eligibility. Amazon actually partners with third-party providers to give you certain certifications that allow you to be climate pledge friendly. I have a resource doc that you guys can email me. I'm going to give you the links to all of these things. So I'm going to include the eligibility requirements in there, but an easy way to do this is to comply with Amazon's Compact by Design certification. That's their own certification, okay? So this is if you, there are certain limits on like the volume or the number of units or the size of the product. And if you meet those, you automatically get the Climate Pledge Friendly badge. Otherwise, you can look through their third-party sustainability certifications that are on the site. And again, I have a link to this with all the certifications in the resources hub, and see if you apply. Now, some brands get this automatically without even trying. So we have a couple brands that we manage that just it showed up one day. But then we have other brands that were eligible, but Amazon never decided themselves. We had to reach out and request it. To request it, this is not something that you do through Seller Central. You can try that, but seller support is going to be less helpful. There's actually a special email that you can use to request it that I've also included in the resources doc that you can get at the end of this presentation. And you email that email. It's like a climate pledge email just for this purpose. And they review all the applications that come in. Now, again, this badge, sorry, let me go back. This badge increases the size of your listing. Okay, that is one of the main things about it. First of all, this badge is more valuable on its own than the small business badge because people, especially in America and Western Europe, really care about the environment and the sustainability of the brands that they're purchasing from these days. So this is something that can actually sway a shopper to either purchase you or not. But besides that, it also, like the small business badge, increases the size of your mobile listing. And I'm going to show you guys an actual measurement later on in this presentation so you can see how dramatic this actually is. If you combine these things and use a combo approach, you can have not a small impact, a dramatic impact on your click-through rate from all the PPC traffic you're driving if you do all these things right. Okay, the next one is using a clickable coupon. This one's a no-brainer. For those of you guys that aren't doing this, it's available to anyone. Anyone can do it. It catches the eye with a big neon green stripe. Okay, and what are we all in the business of is collecting attention. We're all vying and competing for attention on Amazon. Someone needs to pay attention to us, to notice us. There's that story of one of Thrasio's first. For those of you guys that don't know, Thrasio is a company that acquires Amazon brands and then it grows them. They acquired a brand called Angry Orange. They're public about this, is public knowledge. They did one change. All they did was change the packaging from this like clear, boring packaging to a big, bright, neon orange bottle. So same product, same pitch, same listing, same everything. It's just that this neon orange color caught the eye in search results. And they, I think, between doubled and tripled the business in a matter of months just by doing this single change. So they acquired the business, 2.5x'd it in 3 months and had easy win. Good way to make a couple $1 million, right? So this is a similar concept. You get this bright neon green badge on your listing that catches the eye. It makes it look interesting, not boring. And here's a fact. I told you guys earlier, I have a physics background. I'm a data nerd, right? So a lot of people are afraid to put this clickable coupon in because their margins are already thin. They don't want to lose, more margin. Well, the coupon doesn't have to be big. And not only that, but only 60% of shoppers who land on your listing will actually click and use the coupon. I know that's nuts, because how hard is it to just click a checkbox and you literally instantly get money? But even making it that easy, only 6 out of 10. This is an average, okay? This is what we see on our brand. So maybe yours will vary, but it's not going to vary by much. Maybe you'll be 50%, maybe you'll be 70%, but it's going to be around 60% of purchasers actually use the clickable coupon. But despite that, on all of them, it's attracting their eye either consciously or subconsciously. So this is a no-brainer. And the way to calculate your net loss on a coupon is to multiply the coupon value by 0.6, because that's the percentage, the approximate percentage of shoppers who are actually going to use it. So if you have a $1 coupon, you're actually only going to lose on average 60%, 60 cents per unit. Okay, so that's how you calculate it. Again, this also increases the height of the mobile listing result. So now you're stacking these things. The listing is getting higher and higher. Okay, now let's keep going. Using a strike-through price. Okay, this one's a little harder for some of you guys because Amazon's a stickler about this. You can't just keep a strike-through price forever anymore. Like back in 2015, 2016, you could just keep whatever strike-through price, and you could even artificially lower your stock to make it look like there's only one unit left. All these hacks, they don't really work so well anymore. But you can use a strike-through price intermittently as long as the price that you are putting as the sale price is lower than the median price of the product for the last 90 days. Okay, so obviously if it was always lower than the median price for the last 90 days, your price would get lower and lower and lower if you were to keep a strike-through price. So not possible to keep it at all times, but you can do this intermittently. And again, this increases the vertical size of the listing in search results. It also adds more color. You have that, it looks like a discount. You have that red number, and it catches the eye of people on the listing. All right, here's the part I promised you guys. Check this out. So this is without the strike-through price, the size of the listing. Now look at that mapped on the listing that does have a strike-through price. You see this blue area is extra space that the listing is taking up in mobile search results. And that's just one element. That's just the strike-through price. Okay, it's more than 10% bigger in search results than the one without the strike-through price. Okay, and each of the elements that we just went through do this. Okay, now check this out. Look at a listing that has none of these elements. Now compare that to the size of the listing that has all of these elements. Look at all that extra real estate. Can you believe that? How big of a change that is? If you add it all up, it's actually 70% bigger. A 70% bigger listing in search results. Imagine how much that changes the probability that somebody's going to land while they're scrolling on your listing and then tap it. It's massive. I mean, it's huge. And we see really big, prominent changes in click-through rate when we implement these strategies. These strategies are massively effective, not only because they catch the eye, not only because they speak to consumers' priorities like the Climate Pledge Friendly badge, but also because they make your listing bigger. And there are just thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of people scrolling through search results every day. It's a probabilities game. You know, you have hundreds upon thousands of hours per day of scrolling for a given keyword, and some of them are going to land on your listing, some of them are not, and it's all statistics. It's like a random walk. Anything that you can do to increase the probability of someone landing on your listing is super valuable, super money. All right, so this wraps up the first category that we're going to talk about. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to mention relating to this category is there's yet another hack that you can layer on once you've gotten all of these things that relates to the image. Sometimes, and this is category specific, but sometimes if you get all of these elements, the climate friendly badge, the small business badge, the clickable coupon, the strike-through price, and your listing becomes much taller in mobile search results. The section, you can see if I go back here, the section available for your listing becomes like very vertical, like strongly portrait, like a big ratio of height to width. And sometimes if you load an image that is in portrait as well, that has is much taller than it is wide, it will take up that whole space. So you actually have more, sometimes dramatically more pixels of image than non. You could see in this case, Amazon is not doing that. The actual image itself of the packaging on the right is approximately the same size of the image itself of the packaging on the left. It's just the listing thumbnail itself that's bigger. But there's some cases in some categories when Amazon does allow you, if you have a vertical portrait image, to take up all of that space, or at least more of that space, which again increases the overall color amount of pixels that you're taking up with your image. So this is super duper powerful, and you have to look in your own category to see how Amazon is handling vertical images for listings that are taking up more space because of these elements, to see if this could work for you. Okay, now let's move on to number 2. Instead of ranking on page 1, rank all over page 1. Okay, this is a super powerful strategy, especially if you need to price higher. Okay, the example I'm using here was sponsored search result, the highly rated result. There's the editorial recommendation that's not even shown here. There's the sponsored brand result. There's the sponsored video result. There's the organic result. You see, it's all over page 1. It's not just on page 1, it's all over page 1. And this goes back to the philosophy that is as old as marketing, as old as time, which is that 5 touch points rule, that people need to see you or your brand 5 times before they actually make a decision to take an action or to purchase. You're dealing with the same rule on Amazon. Again, it's super crowded. There are a lot of different companies and a lot of different types of products even that show up for a given keyword. You want to have as many touch points as possible in order for them to psychologically think, oh, these guys are everywhere. They must be legit. They're not just some fly-by-night, untrustworthy company. I'm seeing them from all different angles, all different sides of them. They have to be legit. And you could see that the example we're using here, this coffee bag is much more expensive than the other coffee bags. The median price is around $15, and this product is $27. Okay, but the fact that you see them everywhere and that there's tons of touch points and a lot of proof of legitimacy with the highly rated, with the editorial recommendations, it makes it more likely that people click and buy because they trust it more. Okay, so this is the way that you guys who are dealing with margin issues, with logistics prices going up and all kinds of supply chain issues and competitors on the platform, these are the types of strategies that you can use to get around these problems, these margin issues. You can price higher. You just need to be smart enough to get enough exposure to maximize your click-through rate, to maximize your touch points, and what we're going to talk about lastly, which is in ecosystem purchases, in order for you to be able to charge more and to be able to run a profitable business on Amazon, despite all of the issues that we're seeing today. All right, so let's dive into this. Number 1, the organic result. We're not going to talk about how to organically rank. That's a whole presentation or a series of presentations on their own, which LISETT will probably do some sessions on in the next couple months. Who knows? Every seller is obsessively focused about ranking on page 1, but this is just one of many ways to show up on page 1. And these other ways we're going to go over actually feed into your organic ranking in the first place. So it's these strategies that also show you on page 1 besides your organic ranking result are going to feed your organic ranking result. Okay. Number 2 is sponsored search, top of search. Now, for those of you guys that are still using PPC to try to pull profits out of the business, you are way behind. PPC now I see as primarily a driver for ranking and a driver for getting more visibility and more touch points, not necessarily a way to get profitable sales. That's just not how the game works on Amazon anymore. The landscape has changed. And the real metric that matters isn't ACoS, meaning average cost of sale for your advertising sales. The real metric that matters is what this whole presentation is about, which is TACoS, total average cost of sale, meaning the total amount of sales you've made divided by your total advertising cost divided by the total number of sales you made, not just the advertising sales you made. Okay, so total advertising cost divided by total ad sales is ACoS. Total advertising cost divided by total sales, organic plus advertising, that's TACoS. TACoS is the metric that really matters. And we try to drive PPC to improve TACoS, not necessarily ACoS. You can have a high ACoS or an unprofitable ACoS, but have an amazing TACoS because you're spending that to get organic ranking and visibility other places on the platform. And all right, so all of that to say, the top of search results are arguably the most important to affect your organic ranking results. Those clicks are typically the most expensive, but you get you'll end up getting a vast majority of your ranking juice from those clicks. Now you have to, this takes a lot of finesse because you have to check frequently to make sure that you are getting top of search placements with your PPC. And if you're not, you have to change your top of search bid adjustment continuously until you are getting a significant amount of your placements on top of search, 10, 15+%. You want to get as much of your placement on top of search for the keywords you're trying to rank for as possible. So start with the Amazon suggested bid, then up the bid until you're getting mostly as much top of search placement as you possibly can. Again, this presentation isn't going to go deep on bidding strategy. This is just to give you guys some hacks to help you to increase the traffic that you do get. All right, then there's sponsor brand. Now, check this out. This still shows up on page 1, super eye-catching, big image, much, much bigger than the listing results. And there are 3+ listings that you can do by side scrolling. And mobile users are used to side scrolling, so you're giving them what you're used to, okay? Then there's the highly rated section. Now, a lot of you guys probably don't even know about this yet. And those of you that do, maybe you don't have it yet. Okay, you need at least 4.3 star rating to get this. This is a sponsored search result. You don't directly control whether you get it or not, but you do have to meet the requirements to get it. There's no hard limit on the number of reviews. I've seen products with as low as 100 reviews get the highly rated section, but there is a limit on the review rating. Okay, so you need to have that 4.5 star graphic, and the minimum star rating to get that is the 4.3 star rating in order to be in the highly rated section. But you show up literally just another time. It's another result beyond the top of search PPC, beyond the organic ranking, beyond the sponsored brand ad. It's yet another result. Now here's yet another result that shows up on page 1 is the editorial recommendations. This requires actually a third party to get. You can't get this on your own. You actually, basically, to get this, the only way to get it without getting it by accident, which I know a lot of sellers that just get it by accident because someone writes about them. But there are companies out there that you can just pay them to blast out to a bunch of different PR campaigns until you get into the editorial recommendations section. I have some of these companies that you can reach out to listed in the resources doc that you will have access to at the end of this presentation, so that you guys can reach out for those of you guys that are interested. But look how big this is. Okay, this takes up the whole screen, this editorial recommendation spot, and it's a way to show up yet again on page 1. So you can see how, yeah, all of us in the seller community, we're all obsessed about our organic ranking, right? But look at all of these other ways there are to show up on page 1. Amazon is changing way quicker than the seller community is adapting to it. So those of you guys that are watching this presentation, just the very fact that you're here watching this is putting you at the head of the game, because most sellers aren't even trying to do this stuff. It's only the highest sellers doing this. And the sellers that I coach that are operating on the highest level are the ones that are doing this. A vast majority of sellers aren't trying to get all these placements. They're not doing the click-through rate optimization. They're just focusing on the standard Amazon stuff of how do I rank, how do I do PPC, how do I convert. They're looking at the wrong things. And then sponsored video. For those of you guys that aren't doing this, it's so easy. All you do is clip together a couple of hot clips of the product in action with some text overlay, and this catches the eye like nothing else on mobile. And mobile users, especially today, video is just killing it everywhere. It's not just Amazon. Video is killing it everywhere. That's why Instagram is focusing on Reels instead of their posts now. TikTok is the #1 most visited site in the world right now. over Facebook, over Google. It's absolutely nuts. If you guys don't have video, this is super powerful. Like we've seen video, Amazon PPC video get super low ACoS, like 10%, sub 10% ACoS, if done right. So this is yet another way that you can show up on page 1 of search results. You can see now that the organic ranking is really just one of many ways that you show up on page 1. And there are a lot of different ways to show up, and getting multiple touch points is one of the keys to 1, being able to charge higher prices, and 2, actually winning that click in the first place. All right. Damn, we're powering through this, guys. Trying to get this done in a relatively short time to make best use of your guys' time. So stay with me. If you're getting tired, we're almost at the end here. Stick with me. Make sure your phone's still upside down and your Chrome tabs are closed. Let's get to the end here. All right. Number 3, use in-ecosystem sales for off results purchases. Now, again, we're going to go counterculture here, with the rest of the seller community telling you to focus on rank, focus on, you know, your PPC bidding strategy or whatever else. We're going to go counterculture, and we're going to walk through a number of different ways to get sales that are completely outside that, have nothing to do with search results. These are in-ecosystem sales. So these are sales that happen once shoppers have entered your ecosystem one way or another. So here's the philosophy. The key listing metric, and this isn't available in Seller Central, this isn't really available on any tool. It's something that we assess kind of intuitively. I would love to have a tool that actually measured the exact percentage, but the thing that you're trying to maximize is percent owned. That is the percent of the listing real estate on your listing owned by you versus owned or directed off brand. So shoppers are looking at what catches their eye and tapping on what piques their interest or curiosity. They don't care whether they buy your product or not. Just the fact that they're on your listing doesn't mean that they like your product or that they want to buy it. It just means that you won the click one way or another, or the tap one way or another. It doesn't mean you won the sale. So once people are on your listing, besides all of the conversion tactics that you can use that, like I said before, you can Google a bunch of videos that I've done with Augustus and LISETT in the past for a listing conversion. You also want to optimize just the percent of the listing that you own in general. And we're going to go through 5 ways to do that, starting with virtual bundles. Okay, this is a super powerful way. It adds a giant section underneath the image and the bullet points of your listing. That's a whole load of brand new owned real estate. This won't always show up on mobiles. Keep that in mind. If the product is part of multiple bundles, it's going to show all of them. And on some screens, depending on how big the screen is, this literally changes the game for your above the fold listing. Above the fold means when somebody lands on your listing, before they scroll anywhere, it's everything they see. So it's everything before the scroll. That's above the fold. This changes the game. On some screens, some shoppers are going to see a whole list of other companies' products, other companies' thumbnails, and their listings. And if you put the virtual bundle, it crowds that out. So it's literally makes or breaks between whether or not a shopper sees a bunch of other companies or only sees your company. Super powerful if you can swing this. And by the way, it's virtual. So you're setting up a virtual bundle. You don't have to mail in new inventory. Amazon bundles it for you. Super powerful. Carousel mini listings. All right, this takes up more than the entire screen on mobile. They're basically miniature listings. A lot of you guys hopefully have this already. It should always be the very last module in your enhanced brand content or your A+ content section. So the thing for those of you guys that already have it, you can actually further optimize it, I'm sure, because you're likely not using the comparison table in the right way. A comparison table doesn't have to just compare metrics like volume or number of units or color or whatever. You can actually pitch your product in there. I think at some point, I'd imagine Amazon is going to like crack down on this and start, being strict about what you can put in the comparison table. But as of now, you can still basically make a miniature listing that actually pitches the unique value proposition of the product itself in the comparison table. And you can just make up what you're comparing. You could say comparing like use case or comparing like benefits or whatever. And then in that field, you put the pitch of the unique selling proposition of the product. So you can literally sell your product as a mini listing in this product carousel that is the last module in your A+ content. Okay, this is super duper powerful. For those of you guys that aren't doing this, you got to get on it. And for those of you guys that are already doing this, you got to look at your comparison table and see if you actually are making a compelling pitch for someone to tap that product. This is super powerful. Buy one, get one. Okay, this is the whole section on your listing that's special offers and product promotions. This, again, it's a way for you to get a greater percentage of your listing back. So if you don't have it, you just don't have this section. If you do have it, it's a new section that crowds out other sections that might be advertising other products, like compare to similar products or frequently sponsor products related to this product or similar products or whatever. So this can take a significant amount of space on the listing. It also allows people to add the product to their cart directly, and you don't even have to cross-sell other products. You can just sell more of the product that you're already on, okay? Super powerful. All right, friendly product placements. If you guys aren't doing this, it's just straight up silly. Everyone, I don't care if you only want PPC to boost ranking and you just don't care about any other product placements on PPC besides top of search. Everyone should be doing at least product placement ads on all of their own products for all of their other products. Why? Because even if you're a company that doesn't have strong branding and you're selling products that are unrelated, just the very fact that you're crowding out other companies' products on your product placement ads is super powerful. Okay. And for those of you guys that don't know, product placement advertising is this. It looks like this. You might also like or sponsor products related to this product. And inside your advertising console, instead of putting in a search term that you want to advertise on, you put in an ASIN that you want to advertise on. So what I'm telling you to do is put in all your own ASINs to advertise all your own ASINs on all your other own ASINs. And this is what it looks like. You see this company's listing that we're on is Four Sigmatic. Check it out. This whole section that could be taken by other companies is all taken by them. Buy it with, okay, the frequently bought together. That doesn't have to be your company. Okay, a lot of listings have frequently bought together with some other company's products. They were able to get it nailed so that it's only their 3 products. And you might also like, again, you're not guaranteed this section. This section is fair game, open fair game for anybody. But these guys are crushing it with their Amazon sales optimization, and they have got only their own product showing up here. This is what you guys need to be doing. This is what the sellers selling at the highest level are doing. This is a 9-figure company here for Sigmatic, 9-figure company. So if you think you're hot shit because you hit 7 figures, well, you're a couple figures away from the guys doing it the best. All right, and lastly is the frequently bought together. Same screenshot here. You could see the other example that we use. This company is great. We did all the content for them actually. That's Life Boost Coffee. We created their entire listing. This is Matt Clark's company from ASMamazing.com. They're crushing it. I think they're worth $70 or $80 million, something like that. So just shy of a 9-figure company. But look, even they are not owning their own real estate in the frequently bought together section, but the Four Sigmatic is. Okay, so be the guys on the left, not the guys on the right. Not to trash Light Boost. They're doing very well, and they're absolutely crushing it, and they're doing great with almost everything. But they lost this spot, and that's losing them sales. All right, guys. So that is it. I know I went through that at freaking lightning speed. I created a resources document so that you guys could get all of the links and critical emails and guides about each of these topics that I covered. So all you have to do is email me or shoot me a message to get that. Remember, it's all about the combo moves. All right. One of these things can help, but a combination of them can absolutely change your business forever. So, if you implement just one, that's great. And that will get you, 10% better. But if you implement a lot and you combine a lot of these strategies together, that's what separates the good companies from the great. All right. So in order to get that resources doc, just shoot me an email, hello@sophisociety.com, and we'll shoot it right over to you. You can take out your phone as well if you want and scan this QR code that just links to my Instagram if you want to connect with me personally. And yeah, I hope you guys are able to utilize some of these tactics. I would ask that for any of you guys that are still with us right now, that you commit to doing one of these things. You know, one of the easy ones that you know that you can do. Commit to doing one of them this week before the end of the week, and you will get a result. I guarantee that you will get some results if you do at least one of the things, and that will be the solar flare that sparks the flame that allows you to change everything and do those combo moves like we said before.
Great. Thank you so much. It was really an awesome presentation full of very good practical tips for Amazon sellers. So everybody who are watching us live right now, go show support to Chris by liking this video. And also if you're new to Orange Klik, definitely subscribe to our channel. We do have other videos with Chris, and we also have videos with all the other experts in the Amazon industry.
And also this session is part of the Seller Fest Online virtual event where we invited 25 different experts to share their knowledge, just like Chris did. And now I would like to introduce the VIP package. This is additional. We asked every expert to deliver us additional content, and this is also what Chris brought to us additional video inside this VIP package, and speakers were giving us advanced strategies, additional step-by-step guides, downloadable worksheets which you can print and use in different aspects of your business.
Mm-hmm.
And also Chris shared with us something. Chris, what did you share in the extra video?
Yeah, this is a powerful one, guys. So for those of you guys that can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I think it is not updated. Okay, I think it's here, right?
Yeah, so for those of you guys that opt into the VIP package for Seller Fest this year, what you'll get from me is a very, I mean, you guys know I can talk pretty fast sometimes. I compressed this giant presentation into, I think, 12 minutes of 10 ways to remove negative reviews from your listing. This is insanely powerful. A lot of sellers just gave up on this. They don't know that it's even possible to do this, or they've tried and they never got success, and that's because they were doing it wrong. So for those of you guys that opt in, this is a really powerful, it's compressed. Okay, this is like an hour-long presentation. I compress it into 12 minutes, and it shows you 10 different ways to remove. And I also added a bonus way, if none of those work, as a backup plan to remove negative reviews from your listing. And if you guys, have been selling for any length of time, there's a high probability that if you do an audit of your negative reviews and you try looking at them from the approach of each of these 10 ways, you will be able to remove some portion of them. So this is really, really powerful for those of you guys that have negative reviews that are hurting your star rating, or that are showing up on the front page of your listing and hurting your conversion rate.
Yes, and we have in total 25 videos. Check the link below in the description, or also you can use the link which you see now on the screen. And yeah, now it's time for the questions.
Yeah, let's go ahead and ask you some good questions related to your presentation. So first question, don't we need US company for small business badge? Do you know? For
small business badge, do you need a US company? I'm actually not sure if the entity itself has to be based in the States. The qualification is based on a US small business qualification, which is why it's under 50 million. But I never have seen in the requirements that the company has to be based in the US. It just needs to meet the US small business requirements. So yeah, in the resources doc that I had that you can get by just emailing hello@sophisociety.com, it has a link to the Q&A for small business badge requirements. It should be in that Q&A. I might even be able to find it while we're still in this chat.
Yeah, okay, good. So next question, how do you get friendly product placement?
So the friendly product placement, you get that just by running product placement ads in your Amazon advertising console. So it's part of sponsored products, and it's called a product placement ad. You enter the ASIN of the product that you want to advertise on, and the bid, and you are likely to show up on that product listing under a lot of different sections. Actually, it can be similar to this item. You might also like sponsored products related to this product. There are a lot of different sections that you can show up on.
Okay, good. So Tony from Finland says, pure cold as usual. Thanks, Chris. How much do this test picture metadata or alt text?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, so we don't do too much A/B testing of this. We just put in the metadata that we think will help, will boost it, and leave it at that, because we spend most of our indexing on the keyword optimization of the listing itself, and we just found that that's just by far and away like the greatest way to impact indexing.
Okay, good. So Chris, you always provide such great content and you are not shy about sharing what you know. Thank you. So one thank you message. And then one question. So I think there is a question about the bundle. So can you once more explain what's the idea of having bundles and how does it help Amazon sellers?
Yeah, so the reason that getting a bundle helps is that it takes up a big section of your listing. So it crowds out like other companies that are advertising on your listing. It shows just beneath the primary image and the primary bullet points, and it's a big fat section of the screen that shows like bundles that this product is a part of. So that's why getting bundles is really powerful, is because it gives you back more of the real estate on your own listing that would otherwise be taken up by competitors' products.
Okay, good. So let me take another one. So which one is usually more attractive to the buyers, the dollars off or percentage of coupon codes or coupons?
Yeah, so this depends on the price of the product. So what we typically do is, if the price of the product is high, we go with a dollars off coupon because it ends up looking bigger. If the price of the product is low, we go with a percentage off coupon because that looks bigger. So, say I'm selling a product for $12. Well, if I do $3 off, that's a 25% off coupon. That's a lot. That's eating into my margin, even though it's only $3, right? So instead of that, I would do a 10% because it looks like more, even though it's not that much. It's only going to be like $1.20 off of my $12 product. But imagine I was selling something for $120. Well, now, having a $12 coupon, that looks like a lot, right? But it's actually only 10%. Whereas if I tried to do a 15% coupon, that's going to eat into my margin even more. So the basic rule is high price products, dollar off coupons, low price products, percentage off coupons.
Nice. So yeah, thanks again for joining us today. It was a really interesting session with you and hope the viewers enjoyed it as well.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you guys. Hope to see you guys in the VIP section.
Yes, and please like, subscribe if you didn't like Chris' presentation. If you liked, you can just keep your thumbs up. No, like anything. Anyway, we are tired, not of your content, but we in this event, SellerFest Online, we have 28 live streams.
Wow!
And we still
you
have
guys
a few
are
more
heroes,
to go.
dude. Absolute heroes. I salute you.
All right, so we have the link to Chris' Sophie Society below in the description. And actually, one more time, maybe you can remind everyone, because after 50 minutes, we forgot. What do you do for Amazon sellers? How do you help?
Yeah, so we manage the PPC. We do full PPC management, and we view it as part of an ecosystem of just general business success for you. So we use PPC as a tool to help the business succeed. So companies come with us, They subscribe with us to manage their PPC, and we do everything relating to PPC success, not just bid optimization, but everything that I talked about in this presentation, plus, lots more is what we do for our subscribers. And then also, in addition to that, we have a conversion improvement division. All it does is improve the conversion of your listing. So you come to us, we figure out what's wrong with the listing. Is it the images? Is it the bullets? Is it the keyword research? Is it the brand story? Is it the A+ content? Whatever the problem is, we fix it by creating content and uploading it for you so that you can increase the conversion of your listing. So we got traffic, we got conversion.
Thank you very much, and good luck in your business. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye, guys.
And now I would like to invite you to watch other video with Chris, where he gives some tactics to get cheap Amazon PPC traffic.